Would you guys believe me if I told you that some people on Twitter are reporting that they're spending up to $113 to buy a 300,000 diamond Royale High outfit? Well, today we're going to be looking at some Twitter threads that players in the community have posted talking about what they've coined as the Royale High inflation crisis. And we have a couple different Twitter threads to look over today, and I thought that a lot of these creators worded their thoughts really well, and so I want to share with you guys because I know this is a problem that a lot of people have run into, and some of you guys may share similar sentiments or you may disagree, and that's okay. So, with that in mind, I do have to do a disclaimer. Anytime I post a video, I use publicly available comments on public platforms from public profiles. This means that there is no expectation of privacy. However, I do go ahead and blur usernames because people don't need to be getting harassed for having an opinion, and I understand that that's sometimes a consequence of posting stuff online. However, I don't want anybody getting harassed. I also do need to clarify this is a commentary and journalistic channel, which means that I'm allowed to use publicly posted comments in a transformative way, and that falls under fair use where no permission or consent is required. So please keep that in mind. Now, with all that said and done, we're going to be looking at this thread, which this creator has basically written about the Royale High issues that they've encountered in the game. Now they write, we're not allowed to AFK farm. We can't buy diamonds without straight up wasting Robux. You can't even earn anything without dropping over 1,000 Robux on game passes. It's harder to level up now if you're new. Tough luck, I guess you can't profit trade or benefit from the art class unless you play for hours and hours and hours. Even if you have the game passes, it still takes way too long farming for barely anything. Still, it takes 45 minutes for someone with no game passes to get 1,500 diamonds, which I didn't know that. You guys let me know if you've also run into this. That is crazy. If it takes 45 minutes to farm 1,500 diamonds with no game passes, if that is accurate, please let me know in the comment section below, guys. That is astonishing. I really, really, really hope that's not the case, because in that case, how are you going to afford anything in Royale High? Like, what? This person goes on to say, so how are we supposed to get diamonds? By spending hours on end not playing the game, because doing brain-numbing farming isn't playing the game. The devs keep saying they're going to look into it, but where's the evidence of anything changing? Of any progress being made? Because let's be honest, how many times have they been told we're looking into it, and then nothing comes of it because they just wanted to get us to stop talking about it? It has been months since they nerfed getting diamonds, and months of the community speaking out, and we're still being ignored because saying we're looking into it and doing nothing is being ignored. Which, side note, I mentioned this in a previous video as well. This is absolutely no hate to the community manager. The community manager is obviously doing a great job, and I have nothing poor to say about them at all. However, the community manager is frequently commenting when people have feedback and saying, hey, thanks for letting me know. I'm passing this along to the dev team. And so if the community manager obviously is passing along to the dev team, that then falls on the dev team to do something about it, and for them to then communicate back to the community manager so the community manager can communicate to the wider player base. So it seems like either there's no, I guess, progress happening on the developer side, or they aren't communicating back to the community manager. I'm not sure, but regardless, there has to be some more communication in this whole situation because players like this person are obviously getting fed up. They go on to say, I'm gonna be so for real, I'm so tired of excuses, of people bootlicking, and for any little criticism towards the devs being met with, it's just a game. Well, if you don't like it, leave. Well, they're trying their best, etc., etc. Or just having to always tiptoe around it when criticizing anything because the issues that are affecting players the most are being ignored. Which, side note, again, I can empathize with this person very much because anytime I post any mild criticism of Royale High, like the most tame, basic level thing like to ever say, for anybody to ever say, like the most tame take, I am relentlessly attacked on Royale High Twitter. And you wanna know why I keep posting videos about Royale High? Because you guys keep trying to bully me into not posting anymore, and that's not gonna work. That's not how that works. The Royale High community manager is a very kind person, it seems like, and they're very obviously, good at their job. However, people who are in that community on Twitter, i.e. kids, don't always understand the weight of their words, or that, hey, you can't just look at a thumbnail and decide what the entire video is about without watching the video. And it's so funny to me when people run to Twitter like, oh my god, Pummy's hating on Royale High again. Babe, watch the video. Like, hello? Like, is your attention span that short? Come on now. You can do it. It's a 9-minute video. You got this. Watch it in 2 times speed, and it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Sorry. It cannot be that difficult. Come on now. Really? But regardless, I do understand. I think a lot of people do bootlick Royale High and kind of like suck up, which I think is fair. Like, and obviously you don't want people to be super negative towards your game, and I understand that. However, when you relentlessly attack people just for having an opinion, you're not going to make me be nicer about my criticisms when you're being mean to me. I'm just going to double down because I'm not somebody that's going to get pushed around by some random kid on Twitter and then roll over and never speak about it again. Like, that's not how that works, babe. Anyways, the person says, like, it feels like we keep asking for them to fix the giant pothole in the road, preventing cars from actually smoothly and comfortably driving on it, and instead they repaint the pothole and add new guardrails and say we're ungrateful because they put all that work on fresh paint and guardrails, or looking at the giant pothole and going, looks fine to me. And I'm to the point where I'm gonna start getting block happy with the bootlickers because I'm so done. Tread lightly, gang. Which, you know what? Fair enough. And people always like hate on me too for like, I don't know, removing really mean comments, which first of all, I'm not even the one removing them. That's my community manager. I don't do that. And second of all, if you're gonna tell me to go off myself because I said, hey guys, the rural high farming method's kind of broken. Whoa. Like, why are you telling me to go like off myself? Like, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, what is this? Now, this other creator also wrote, I feel like at this point they should just remove the feature altogether if they're not going to update it, because what even is the point? Who's buying only 264,000 for 8,000 Robux? Sets now are barely under 200k. We also don't even get codes anymore, so... Also, it feels like just making these prices more realistic would fix a lot of problems, not gonna lie, and support the devs way more. But inflation, we're barely pushing 30k players on a good day at this point. I don't even care anymore. And then they attach a screenshot, which... In the past, I was going to make a video about how I thought these prices could be updated because I thought they hadn't been updated, but then when I did some research, they've been updated as of I think like 2 years ago or something. The prices, like the amount of diamonds you got higher for the same amount of Robux to kind of accommodate inflation, but I certainly feel, and I think a lot of people share the sentiment, that these numbers now still are not enough to accommodate for how expensive the game has gotten, especially when you're spending that much Robux for what feels like a very insignificant amount of diamonds compared to what everything else in the game costs. Now, there's a bunch of comments under this post which read, 8,000 Robux should equate to like 10 million diamonds, easy, which I know they're being sarcastic, but I definitely don't think 10 million diamonds, but I think something just, you know, if an average set, according to the person that previously stated that, it's about 200,000 diamonds, which people can argue, oh, it's below, oh, it's above, you know, it depends on the set, but we'll just say average of 200,000 diamonds, right? Then I think, you know, a decent amount of Robux to spend maybe, like, I don't know, 4,000 diamonds, or 4,000 Robux, 4,500 Robux should equal to 200,000 diamonds, and then adjust it that way, but obviously I don't have a full grasp of the whole Royale High economic system, and I think the only people that do is the developers. And my speculation, purely speculation, would be maybe they are apprehensive to adjust the pricing because revenue has potentially fallen with the decreased player base. I don't know, but they do have things like toy lines. But again, with toy lines, they're making money, but they also have to spend a bunch of money up front to get stuff produced. So there's a lot to this. It's not just a simple, oh, give us more diamonds. There's a lot more to it. And so I try to be empathetic with the way I approach it, but I can understand the community frustration. This person writes, I keep coming back to this because something doesn't add up. How are Halos going for over 10 million unless a large part of the Royale High community is cross-trading? Even if it's profit trading, people are going to start running out of diamonds in the next 2 to 3 months. Which, if you can earn diamonds through different methods and you, like, I don't think people can run out of diamonds unless diamonds stop being produced. But the game literally gives you diamonds when you do things, so I don't think that's accurate, but I do kind of understand what they're trying to say. This person says if they fix the cross-trading, would be less, believe me. This person writes, am I allowed to say that Gem has dialogue and the menu is kind of patronizing? Diamond farming is hard work. I wonder why. If the game itself says that making money is hard, you think they'd fix it. This person says, God, I remember in 2020 buying the 264k diamond one and getting 2 sets, then getting disappointed later at how fast I spent it. There's also this one, which this person did some math, also to add some numbers, which I do have to clarify. Obviously, these amounts vary because Roblox, I guess, has like different pricing for Robux based on your location. That was like a new update for like 2025, 2026. Also, there's different conversion rates, and conversion for different currencies changes every day. So take this with a grain of salt because, you know, obviously it depends on where you live, etc. But they wrote, if $100 is 264,000 diamonds, cost per 100k is about 37.88 cents USD. A 300,000 diamond outfit is about 113 US dollars and 64 cents. Why? And then they follow up by saying, add in the fact that they overwatch trades even between alt accounts, and the doll items can only be redeemed once per Roblox account. Which, side note, I didn't know the doll items could only be redeemed once per Roblox account. And I guess like the whole point of that, which my impression in my speculation would be that they did that potentially so that people couldn't just go to the store and buy like 5 of the same doll and just redeem it and like basically control the entire worth of an item. Because think about it like this. Imagine in, I don't know, your local city, right? There's 2 Walmarts and they put 5 of the Chrome doll, okay, in the Walmarts, and someone buys 5 from both Walmarts. They have 10, the entire stock. They can then go and decide, you know what? I'm gonna redeem all these, and these are now gonna be worth 10 million diamonds. Like, they can kind of skew the value of items when they control a massive portion. In the Roblox like trading community, they call this like hoarding, like item hoarding, when someone hoards a bunch of copies of one singular item, so they can basically manipulate the community value and get people to pay them astronomical amounts for an item that probably isn't worth that much. And so my speculation would be that the reason that they aren't allowing players to redeem multiple toys on the same account was with the intention of not allowing people to skew values and to make stuff inaccessible to other players. However, the issue now is that people are still buying the dolls, but now they're just selling the codes separately so that people can redeem the codes, and people are getting scammed easier because they can't actually see a physical item. And how do you know that the seller didn't already redeem the code or already sell the code to somebody else? And then you get this code that doesn't work, and they say, oh, it's just an issue with the code, and you have to contact Jazzbirds and stuff like that. I have a story time to tell you guys about that because when you guys submitted that. But regardless, I do think it is a little bit tricky with the toy codes, and I know they're trying to, I think, make it fair, but it's kind of causing people to unintentionally get scammed is like the best way to say it, which isn't Royale High's fault. It's the community's fault for people in the community doing that kind of stuff. And it's unfortunate that kids are falling for it, but regardless, I think the Royale High, quote, inflation problem has been something that's been around and more so talked about pretty commonly in the past couple 6 months. And I understand that people are frustrated, and I can understand that especially people who want to achieve value in Royale High or new players feel like they are achieving absolutely nothing because everything's so expensive and the amount of money that they're making for doing tasks is so low in comparison to other things. And so I'd like to know in the comment section below, how do you guys think Royale High could fix this? What do you think should be the diamond reward amounts for leveling up, for completing certain tasks? How much do you think they should charge for the different diamond tiers and stuff like that? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below because I am curious what you guys think would be fair, and maybe if you guys can come up with something that you think is fair, Royale High may actually take it into account if it is a reasonable request, and then maybe they can resolve the issue with the diamond farming method. So regardless, let me know your thoughts down below. I obviously thought these were really good threats to read, but again, these fall under fair use. They're posted publicly, and I'm using them in a transformative way, so keep that in mind, Royale High Twitter community. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!